All right, what about now? All right, what about now?
Okay, that seems like it's working. Hello.
Just gonna post this in Discord. Alrighty. All right, what about now?
Okay, that seems like it's working. Hello.
Just gonna post this in Discord. Oh God. Okay. Hang on. Hearing myself is not something I'm interested in. Okay. Okay, so today we are circling back to our dialogue UI. Nothing glamorous, just trying to get the scrolling behaviors up and running. Okay. I'm realizing that like a lot of this probably isn't working the way that it was. This was actually the first thing that we did way back when. So in all likelihood, there's a lot that needs changing here. Um, chief among everything else, I think this actually isn't getting parented to our main canvas. I mean, we definitely want to do that. But that can wait a little bit. I'm just kind of trying to figure out how scroll containers in Unity function. And I am struggling with that. So currently, let me pop this open, get a couple of lines. I don't think I changed anything super important. So I'm curious, this looks about right in some ways. I don't have a script. Eventually I'm going to have a script that controls these and just has it be slightly more than the edges of the screen. But can't really do that until we have a paper texture with a little bit of actual variation in it. Mainly because I want to, tomorrow, hopefully, if I can get this all wrapped today, I want to work on the actual sort of auto-scrolling behavior when lines of dialogue are added. But, well, anyway. So where's this? It's under the dialog manager. Singleton. Yeah, it's this guy. So that's the dialog panel. Here's the main panel. Oh, gosh. Portrait panel. No. Scroll view, content. So what is interesting? Okay, that is really interesting. Hmm. And if I were to, so this is the message panel. If I were to delete this, yeah, yeah. Okay, so that is. Oh, okay, duh. Oh yeah, okay, so that makes sense. So the problem is that we're using a content size fitter, which is meaning that we're not actually scrolling. So what we probably want to do is not that, right? We want to go to our dialog panel. Here's our scroll view. I think I actually changed it to, no, we're good, we're good. Yeah, so I think we don't want this, right? Because we want it to be a static amount of content. And that should allow us to scroll as it changes, I believe. Because when this overflows this, we should start seeing, I think, scrolling behaviors. It's not exactly how it should work, but right now I think my standards are pretty low. I kind of just want to be able to scroll. Okay, that better, still not working. So what's happening? I think a deep dive into Unity's UI system might become necessary pretty soon. Huh. Okay. Hmm. This just feels like user error at this point. I think the problem is that I just don't really know much about Unity's UI, period. Okay. So the expected behavior here, I think, is that you have a scroll view. You're passing a content rect into the viewport. And I thought that that should be all that you need to do to get a scrolling behavior, right? Because you have content, and if that, because that's what I thought that was what the viewport meant, is that you have a viewport. Oh no. Okay, so hang on. So the height is 800, right? The height of content here is 148. If I make this 1200 and then go back into actual gameplay, are we able to scroll? Okay, then I definitely just don't understand how scrolling functions, because I was under the impression that that would do what we wanted it to do. Unless, like, maybe it needs to be here. I think I can only escape the docks for so long on this. Because the scroll view here is 800. Content is 1200. Which one would think would make this window scrollable, albeit not the way that we want it to be, but that's not how it's behaving. All right. You get to listen to me looking at our scroll view API. Just out of interest, is this still a thing? Yeah, it is. That is so strange. Kind of seems that you can. Well, that might actually be a clue. So. Maybe? I'm kind of perplexed about this generally. Okay, so hold up. So if we bring our content back down to like 600, or I mean, let's go even smaller, like 400. Is it able to go infinitely? Kind of seems like it. That is so weird. This just kind of feels like I have screwed something up. And I just don't know what. Visibility outside. Okay. So the scroll view's position is not changing. Is it the content's position that's changing? Yes. The content gets moved. I'm not really seeing. Okay. Port elements in the scroll view are the viewport, the scrolling content, and optionally one or two scroll bars. Game object has the root game object has the scroll rect component. Viewport has a mask component. Okay, maybe that's the problem here. So here's our scroll view. That definitely seems like that's what the issue was. Okay. So is the problem that we need to, okay, I'm gonna get rid of the ridiculous stuff that I've done here. Is the problem that we need to add a mask to the content game object? So I guess what that would be is image, fully stretch it. That is feeling pretty correct. Not necessarily in a good way, but that's something that we can fix later. Get rid of the mask graphic. Oh, and we see nothing. Content. Oh, yeah, no, I think that was a mistake.
Okay, so wait a minute. That actually, no, that was just me being stupid. So I think if we do this, this actually should be fine. Oh, I wish I hadn't done that. Whatever. Alright, hang on. Oh, interesting. Okay, neither here nor there. But so hello, today. I love you. Good. So closer, but we're not actually triggering the scrolling behavior, which is bad. Now, second question here is because we were seeing such weird behaviors with the elastic scroll. Does this change anything? No. Okay. So I think that is probably based on if I had to guess. Hmm. So set this like 400. Is the problem that so our mask is enabled, our image is enabled? And can we so if I just out of interest make another scroll view, because I feel like this will give me some pointers. Here's we have a scroll view, the rect, it's elastic by default, horizontal, vertical, and its content is this rect transform. The scroll view has an image, doesn't have a mask. Oh, but okay, hang on. Okay, scroll view viewport content. Got it. And the viewport has an image and a mask. Does the scroll view have an image and a mask? It has an image. What if I remove that? Okay, so that's 100% the problem, I bet. So if I go to the scroll view here and add an empty child and call it viewport, parent content to that viewport. And I think like this, I'm kind of willing to just try putting images on it for now, just to make sure that I'm not changing anything. But what the viewport here had is just an image and a mask. And okay, it also has a canvas renderer. But I think all UI components have canvas renderers, right? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Still figuring out Unity's UI system, so be merciful with me. Been in the I've been in the shader mines for too long. Okay, so I think now I'll show the graphic because I'm kind of interested in what we need to do here. And then
do, I guess, is use this viewport. Whoa. What happened? Okay, well, something happened. Uh, okay. So that's interesting. Um, we love us a janky UI library. I can't say I don't. We probably want this to be stretched, right? So like this. I'm struggling to understand. I mean, it might honestly be best to, well, I'm assuming that we can get this working, then hopefully I can do a little bit more scroll bar setup. So it's saying the viewport is a mask component. The viewport can either be the root game object or a separate game object that's a child of the root. If auto hiding scroll bars are used, it must be a child. The viewport rect transform needs to be referenced in the viewport of the scroll rect. All of the scrolling content. Oh, okay. So I actually am kind of wondering whether I've done something unnecessary here and whether the issue is functionally independent to this, but that the that's interesting. Where are you going, my friend? No, no, come back. What is going on? Okay, that's super interesting. You know, I'm calling it progress. That's what I'm calling it. I'm not fully understanding what the problem is here. So, as I'm kind of gathering it, where this position should be, I mean, if we pause Y at 0 so it's in the middle of the screen. The main panel, this is sized here. And I mean, let's just, for the sake of anything, put it there and then give it like a little offset. Is that the problem? Is the problem that it's sort of like doing constant screen math or something like that? Because what I'm thinking here is that if we have a rect transform that we can do, okay, what happens if I do this and then leave? And then come back in. Unity, why do you do this to me? Okay. I'm even more curious about whether this is something that happens in game. It appears to be, yeah. Okay. Okay. Clearly I have done something wrong. So let's bring this guy back. What? Ender fucking. The part that blows my friggin' mind is that it seems to happen more frequently when I move the camera. Okay. Okay.
I have achieved something that has caused it not to happen. I still don't know exactly what I have achieved. But, well, okay, now I want to actually take a look at the stream and see if I have an idea for something that I could have done that was severely stupid, but I won't know until I actually look at it, so hang on a second. No, scroll view. Okay, now it's not happening. I'm calling shenanigans. Okay, well. No, that is silly. And, Unity should feel silly. I am curious if this is, so this is like 1200. I don't know, 3000. 3000? Because it doesn't matter because this will be at the center of it. And we go into the game. Scroll upwards. Yeah, okay, so that does work. Okay. So does that actually mean that I'm able to do the thing that I want to do? So if I add a content size fitter to this. First side, no. Still also not fully. So if it functions as a layout controller that controls the size of its own layout element. Got it. Okay, so that needs to be on the thing. That is a layout group. Is that right? So the content size fader functions as a layout controller that controls the size of its own layout element. The size is determined by the minimum or preferred sizes provided by layout element components on the game object. Yeah. Yep. So, okay. I mean, so if we have this kind of like general dialogue window, could we just... This hurts my brain. So if you have this main panel, which has a background image, if we just get rid of this, right? Bye-bye. We should be able to define... Yeah. We'll change that eventually. But shouldn't we be able to just, on the scroll view, add like a vertical layout group of... I guess in this case, the argument against it is that this would be a vertical layout group of one. But I guess it doesn't have to be, right? The problem here is really that we have this... So I guess what I'm thinking is we... Okay, no, so we could just merge... Can I do that? So I'm thinking we can merge a few of these and get rid of some game objects here based on the behavior that we actually want, right? Which is that we want this to be a single full scrollable container. We don't really have any ambitions to, keep the dialogue options visible when you scroll through the history. So I think, if I understand correctly, that the way that this could work is that we could make this a scroll rect. So make the actual content here scroll rect using itself as a rect transform. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So no, I think I got it twisted because there's a different, right, so there's a difference between the viewport and the content. So it's when the content exceeds the viewport. So what's the difference there? So the viewport is the viewport rect transform that is the parent of the content rect transform. Okay, so you need two rect transforms. Got it. Got it. Okay. And so okay, so I think what I did that was stupid. Can I reproduce the behavior now? So I think what I did was that I made the scroll rect or the viewport the same thing as the content. So you have I've actually inverted them here. But yeah, that's so if I make the scroll view, the content, and the viewport. Okay, so I don't actually. I think that whatever the behavior was may have been a bug, but I think this is generally how it should work. Is there a good logic to this? Because I guess what I'm thinking is that we have we probably have one more game object in this hierarchy than we need to. I guess would be my understanding of things. Also, I'm gonna delete this because I don't think we need it anymore. So if I'm understanding correctly, there's really no reason to have a dedicated scroll view when we have this main panel. And really what should be happening is that our content should be where the image is. Right? I think that's what I'm saying. So I also don't think we need a mask. So here's a basic background with a darker color. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the biggest problem is like how do we actually put the things in the right place? But that feels like that's a solvable problem with a yeah. So as I'm thinking about this, I am realizing maybe there's validity to having this for the purposes of actual layout, sizing, spacing. So you have this content. And when that content exceeds, so it's, yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm hurting my noggin with this, so I'm gonna pause on that for the moment. And just try to get the actual scrolling to work because right now that's not happening. So, independently of what the final shape of this is going to be, what are we doing for the actual scroll bar? Scroll view, sorry. Okay. So, content is
the UI element to be scrolled. Okay, so this is the content. And as I understand it, the way that this is supposed to work is that this content should become scrollable when it exceeds the size of its parent rect transform, which is in this case the 2000. Okay, so that is probably the issue. So we want this to be like here, and what will happen is if this is like, let's say 400, then when this content I keep wanting to say div, but when this content rect expands outwards because its content size fitter has let's remove that. I think. Get rid of that. So this might have been parent has a type of layout group component. Child layout group should. Well, let's try it. We'll see how it goes. Oh no, I did the thing. Right, nope. Yeah, okay, so that actually does seem to work. So, independently of the actual content sizing, which is disgusting, what if we make the horizontal? So, okay, if we, yeah, if we just make preferred vertical, but leave horizontal unconstrained. Oh God. Okay, hang on a second. I think I can actually do this. So if I we should have a reference to this in our player controller. So party manager. So I guess, yeah, we can go into the controller for this. Player movement. All right, I'm hoping that that does what I wanted it to do and that I don't have to worry about this anymore.
Okay, mission accomplished. I mean, like, not in a good way, but if we... So that seems to be functioning. And I think that what we would want to do here is to make this 800, I believe, which is the screen size that we're keying off of. And if we do that, then I believe that this is interesting. I'm betting that... Well, anyway. If we just, I think this will work. So if we make that full screen, then I think that we're okay. Okay. Well, I am calling that at least a stopping point for now. Obviously, we're not gonna leave things like this. But I have some errands to run, so I will be back on later. May or may not stream. Probably not. I want some chill vibes. But this at least means that we should be able to draft, as ugly as this is. I have to figure out frame by frame what's actually happening here. My guess is that we're reinitializing the full container or something. But at the very least, this means that once you end up with the dialogue, the scroll container is behaving roughly as we would expect it to, minus some unfortunate quirks. But like, I'm not complaining about those for the most part. I think this is okay. We actually don't want to. One thing here, we don't actually want to mask these as they go up, because I think what I'm thinking is that the intended behavior would be to what's what I'm looking for. The intended behavior would be to have these to have the image scrolling up and down with the text. So this is okay. It's not ideal, but it means that we should be able to do some more extensive drafting and start new conversations. If I move over to here, cool. All right. Well, you know what? Mission accomplished. I'm not mad about that. Cheers. Have a good one.